nytt här på min kanal. Som ni ser, what remains of Edith features. Edith.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Jag klickar bara på några knappar. Jaha. Så, options, camera control, sån. Så jag kan ställa in. Men det funkar inte jättebra för mig. Jag tänker så här, det blir copystrike för musiken, så synka lite. Jag kan ju slå in den nu.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back. Nej, det är inte någon trespass. Aha. Vad var det? Och om jag är tyst så kan jag släppa och spela på natten. Inte väcka mig gammal. Det är mamma. Så vi ses nog nästa gång det kommer något. No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Okay, we go halfway. What? Nu för det här ser ut som tassar. Det där är löv. Jag blir att det är creepy. Jaha. Jag tror det var en lapp. Oj, jag tror det var jag som gick i busken. Vad det?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Nu är jag säker på att det är ett deckspel. Thank you game. Jag tycker det kanske blir en... Ja, det var sån här papper du såg. Det stod trespassing på den. Man hade en krona på sig.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Jag ändå förstår med tanke på att det ser ut som en hel neighbor. Vänta. Kan jag gå in här? Ja, det är hit.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Hey.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Oh. Okej, så det är i alla fall. Nej. Okej, jag kan gå så ut då. Här, det. Lite ska.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Ett ficklampa. Vad fint. Den som gjort det här ska nog ha cred, tycker jag. Lämna en kommentar vad ni tycker.
The power had been turned off the night we left. the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
För att det är mysterium. Jag gör Sherlock Holmes här, tror jag. Okej, hit ska jag inte.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Då första jag.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Va?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Vänta.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Och för er som inte fattar det så måste jag dra med joysticken manuellt så här, för såna här grejer.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Lyssna här. Ja.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Så det var en väldigt fint.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Okej, jag kan inte låsa upp det. Jaha, det är det de använder till. Det var inte så ljust där längre.
Instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Jaha, det är pop. Jag trodde det var någon.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Just Barbara Finch. Det här är antagligen mamma.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Man ser liksom att man inte kan gå ner där. Här kan jag också. Nej, det var ingenting. Jo.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
I can go.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Så här ser det ut. Till exempel det här kan jag gå och kika fler.
The last time I was in Edith Senior's room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Okej, då ska jag nog gå och pipa in på de andra också. Vänta, jag
Edie's
missade.
father, Odin, built the original house.
Odin, aha, så antingen så är det guden eller så är han bara sånt namnet.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years,
Ah,
until America grew out of it.
där. Okej.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Jag har min TV som slocknade så var spelet. Lite soundbaren på. Va? Typiskt. Vi träffas när... Jag kommer inte. Så, nu är jag tillbaka. Det krånglar lite med TV:n.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone.
Tänkte du äta fiskarna också eller? Ja, faktiskt.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ja. Nej. Vänta, vad?
I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night.
Sådana där som man brukar ha på jul.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Jaha. Så hon drömmer att hon är katt.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Jaha. Jag kan gå hit.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Like a fox or something.
A mama rabbit.
Where? Oh man.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Okay. A shark on the land. De kan samlas på marken. Aha. Den här saken. Jag verkar kunna. Den verkar kunna dansa. Men inte dansa.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
Aha, det här var
Now,
ocean.
I was hungrier than ever.
Aha, den knapp gjorde så. Aha. Åh, en
I
stackars
wanted
tjocka.
fat, juicy seeds. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Nu är en sån här hamburgare. Okej, vart ska jag? Jaha, ja, där uppe över Edith. Alltså Milton och Lewis. Så det är hennes bröder. Och det är ingen body. Sufen, Sanjay, Kai. Aha.
I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Vad är det här? Ja, en bäckfisk. Lite så.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. Also, I didn't.
Oh, I'm Ja, de dog ut så för att man ska se det. Kan jag titta ut? Nej.
Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Det här måste ha varit en död.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Nej. No. Yeah. En toalett.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Nej.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Och Molly är hennes mamma, eller? Låt mig kolla. Nej, de är släkt på väldigt långt håll. Och där uppe är jag med cellfonen. Det var lite över.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Ja, jag kan titta på min knoppar. Var det allt för det här rummet kanske? Nej.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Ja, då har man inte klickat på inställningsknappen.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Jag tänkte alltså att dragon kills finch. Treasure strikes finch. Celebration times. Built 1937.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Mole man beneath the Finch house.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Her room was like a museum.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Mistress and thief, death and thereafter. Swift death and thereafter. Ja, det är grilla. Okej. Vänta.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Och där är en secret passage. The secret in this bathroom. Why Sweden Edith Finch?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
inte förrän ni har kollat här. Om det är något.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Han satt allt nära. Jag tror det var riktiga människor först. Jaha. Alltså alla ljud i en halvlekskrivade här.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
To command center. To command center.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
A note.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Fitch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Så jag har varje
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Jag kan inte själv.
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Or maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Okay.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Och verkligen.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Okej. Jag känner att det är något mer. Ja, precis här. Aha.
passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Jag går hit först. Eller kanske inte.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Aha.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Jag måste klicka faktiskt.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Silent. Yay, jag är inuti en serietidning. Då slipper jag göra den här serietidningen eller åt lite där.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Ja. Boom, boom, boom. Ska jag spela biljard? Ja! Jag vill spela biljard.
Infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
This doesn't feel very good.
The old fitch rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your screen.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Och där tror jag faktiskt inte tror.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
The window. A secret passage. Oh.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Jag fattar.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
No. Jag är redo med min krycka här. Jag kan slå ner. Okej, jag kollar efter något så jag kan slå ner. Så jag kan visa.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. And that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
My friend Bigfoot. Ja, hon hade en gitarr också.